Hi, I'm Keith Trim, and I'm here with City Councilman Kelly Davis, and I've come down to his office today to discuss the no votes at the City Council meeting on Tuesday concerning the appointment of Chad Sprunk to the position of police chief. On that evening, both Kelly and Brad Kuzelka both voted no, and I was curious as to their concerns as to why they did that.
Yeah.
So Kelly, what were your concerns that you and Brad both voted no?
There was a job listing detail, and one of the requirements on that job listing detail was the management or supervisory certificate through the Nebraska Law Enforcement Training Center, and Chad does not have that. And we just thought that the successful candidate should meet the requirements of the job listing. I know there was some other guys that were kind of interested in applying for the job, and they didn't because they didn't meet that requirement.
Could you read for us what it says on there?
Partial requirements: basic certification and management and/or supervisory certification through the Nebraska Law Enforcement Training Center. Current full-time employment as a police officer with at least 6 years experience with some supervisory experience. Nebraska driver's license, residency in the city of Fairbury within 4 months of being hired. I believe he meets everything except for the supervisory certification.
So you feel that it wasn't properly advertised to all the candidates, that they had to have that they could get it afterwards?
Correct.
And some people may not have applied because they didn't know better.
Correct.
So
I have absolutely nothing against Chad Sprunk personally. I think he's a very nice gentleman and a good police officer. I just think if we advertise for a position and we have set certain criteria, that they should meet that criteria, or let the people know they don't have to meet it, and then see who applies.
do you think if that would have been known, we'd have had a better candidate pool?
I would have had more, I believe.
As it sits now, is there anything that can be done, or is this a done deal?
As far as I know, it's a done deal. He was sworn in at the meeting Tuesday night.
Okay. Was there any other concerns that you had about this, about the way things went down, or because I know that Brad didn't get a chance to, he didn't say a whole lot, but
Well, it was just my understanding that from the time that Chief Brooks Bryan resigned, that they thought they didn't want to hire from within the department. They wanted to get some new blood, some new thoughts in, and they kind of surprised me when I read in the paper who the final candidate was, who the appointment was going to be. That's the first I'd heard about it, was when it came out in the previous Wednesday's paper. Another concern I guess I had was, from what I've been told, the rest of the police officers were told that they could, when they got it narrowed down to 2 or 3 candidates, they could have a question and answer session with the candidates, and get a feel for them and see where they thought they wanted to take the department, and then make a recommendation to the mayor and council who they thought would be the best fit for it, and they didn't get to do that.
okay. I kind of took from listening to Brad talk that he said that he wasn't that Chad wasn't qualified at the time, which leads me to believe that maybe not everybody really did know what was going on.
Correct.
So is this something we're just going to have to fix for the next time, or?
Well, I think next time that we have a position come open, they need to look at the job requirements that they list and stick to them. I don't know if there's any repercussions that can come from this or not. I kind of felt like Mr. Bargan, our city attorney, maybe should have weighed in on that a little bit, but he didn't.
So this requirement almost sounds more like a guideline, because it doesn't say anything there specifically about attaining it after the fact.
No, it doesn't. And now it will probably be a cost to the city to get that certification. I don't know what it will cost or how long it will take, but from what the job listing detail has, from the way I read it, it is supposed to be in hand.
Okay. Is there anything else we want to talk about today?
No, that's just why I voted no. I just thought, if we're going to hire somebody, we should do it with somebody that has the qualifications that we asked for, or let it be known that we're going to bypass some of the qualifications and let whoever else might not have them throw their hat in the ring, so to speak, too.
Oh, I see, because we could have had a bigger pool to choose from at the time. I see. So
we stand to lose about 3 officers over this, the way it was handled.
Really?
Yes.
Can you go into detail about that or anything?
I don't want to name any names right now, but I've read a couple letters that they said that they would be looking for jobs if this goes through.
But that has to do with this procedure thing, or does that have anything to do with a personal problem?
Well, some of it is personal. Some of it's personal, I believe, and some of it's procedural. It's
So maybe some of the other officers would have applied if they thought they were qualified, or at least could have done this after the fact.
correct.
But now it's too late.
Correct. That's my understanding of the situation.
Okay. So, well, I guess I see why you voted no. And thanks for the interview.
You're quite welcome. Thank you.
I'm with Brad Kuzelka right now, and Brad, I have a question for you. At the City Council meeting, you voted no, and you spoke out a little bit about the reason why you voted no for Chad Sprunk's appointment. Can you kind of clarify to us the reasons why you voted no?
Well, the main reason I voted no was because Chad didn't have all of his schooling, or he didn't meet all the requirements that were set forth by the city to hold this police chief position.
And that was a qualification that he had to take a management course?
Supervisor course, yes.
Was there anything else besides that?
No, otherwise all of his ducks were in a row as far as that goes, and I just didn't want any part of appointing anybody that was not qualified at the day of appointment.
Do you think that if it would have been made more clear, there would have been a better pool of applicants? Or was it the council or the city not make it clear enough to the applicants what was required?
Oh no, it was listed. Exactly what we wanted was all listed out. I don't understand why anyone would apply for a job that they don't have all the qualifications for. It'd be like me showing up for work without my tools.
Exactly.
That's what I can equate it to.
So, how would you have preferred to seen it done?
Well, if we didn't have any applicants that were qualified for the job, I felt that either we should have prolonged it until we got some, or maybe we should have changed. Say, okay, you don't need these, or if that's fine if they want to have Chad as their appointment, let's not appoint him until he takes his class, his 3-day class or whatever it is.
So it turns out that he's able to take the class after the fact.
Yes.
But that wasn't really made clear.
Well, like I said, I just didn't want any part of appointing anybody that wasn't qualified the day of appointment.
So there wasn't. So Chad's abilities and skills was not an issue. It wasn't him as an individual.
Well, on paper, Chad may be the best applicant we received.
Okay. But your whole main issue was procedure on this is the qualifications. They weren't met. We should get more applicants that are qualified.
I felt if we were going to appoint someone that day, they should have been qualified that day.
Okay. So as a SAT, you did not have qualified applicants. And it wasn't really made clear to anyone. I mean, I was there too. I didn't really hear it. I didn't understand that either. So.
Well, we could have went into detail. I just felt that it was moot, and no one really felt the same way I did. And so that was, and I told Ed Friesen before the meeting, I told Chad before the meeting, both that was one concern that I had. There are other concerns. There's a lot of mudslinging that's been going on, but what I really feel, was the main problem in my book anyway, was the fact that, he just didn't have what it took.
Now, Kelly alluded to the fact that maybe some officers who might be quitting over this. Have you heard anything about that?
Yeah, I was told by 2 officers and told by those 2 that one other one may quit, and the may would probably turn into more of a definitely quit, but not to say that they won't, but
Did that weigh in your decision?
not really. As far as the appointment goes, I have nothing against Chad. Like I said, there was some mudslinging, and I can't. When this stuff happens, I'm not there. I don't see what goes on between the officers, and I talked to the county attorney, and she said there was no problems with cases or anything like that, where anything that Chad might have done would jeopardize a case that she could remember anyway. So Linda Bauer said, you know, there's nothing legally that causes a problem here. So, you know, as far as that goes, I'm fine with that. If he would have been fully qualified for the job, I would have gave him a nod, I guess.
Okay, well, that explains that. I do appreciate the interview.
No problem.
Thank you.